Hello, I'm Doug Roarin here in Juniper Level Botanic Garden, the home of Plant Delights Nursery. And let's talk Rohdea. Rohdea japonica. The most common name for them is Rohdea. They have a silly common name, Japanese sacred lily or something. The Japanese and the sacred part are not the silly part, but the lily part is, I think, the silly part of that common name. Before the lily family got chopped up into many families, they were in the lily family, but the flowers are so terribly unlike lily flowers. They're produced at ground level, early spring. They look more like a mushroom than something that you would think of as lily-like. Here is the result of the flower, just a cluster of two green fruit that haven't yet turned red. The fruit of the Rohdea is an ornamental feature, though it's not always well displayed being close to the ground like this, but it's red and it persists into late winter, even early spring. The plants have perfect flowers, both male and female parts, so they're able to produce fruit by themselves. Oh, here's a cluster where they've colored up a little bit, but normally they make a big head of fruit, and it's quite attractive. Now, maybe I've gotten too far afield talking about the fruit display, because the main reason you grow Rohdea is for the foliage. They are an evergreen plant, definitely for the shade garden. They wouldn't die in sun, but they look absolutely miserable in sun. They actually definitely prefer shade, just average soil. And wild Rohdeas have solid green leaf, and it's a lovely feature without any variegation. And there are hundreds, if not thousands, of cultivars of Japanese Rohdea. And we'll see a few others, some with like spiral twisted leaves or crested leaves and different variations on variegation, but hardy into zone 6. I always reluctant to say deer don't eat them, but they generally, I don't know of anybody who's had their Japanese Rohdeas eaten by deer. There'll be somebody in the audience screaming, they do eat mine, but they are slow to multiply. The normal means of propagation of any of these variegated cultivars or the other cultivars is by division. And you know, a plant like this one might yield 6 divisions, but that's all. So it's takes a long time to build up numbers when you're trying to propagate a Japanese Rohdea cultivar. But other than being slow to multiply, it's a really carefree, permanent plant in the shade garden. And one that we really enjoy come winter, when so many other things have disappeared and gone dormant for the winter. Feeling Groovy is one of our own selections of Rohdea japonica. Notice how the leaves have many pleats in the center. It's a robust, upright growing one. Just solid green, but green is such a lovely color, especially as we move into the winter months. Here's another cultivar of Rohdea japonica. The cultivar is Otome, which I believe means princess. And here, instead of just the white margin on the leaf like the Godai takane, this is streaked throughout the leaf. It's also a broader, lower growing plant, but a real beauty, real quiet. There's a number of other cultivars with this kind of variegation that are taller, more upright plants, but all of them are very beautiful, but Otome is a real special one of mine, real favorite of mine. This is Rohdea japonica shishi, and it's typical of the cultivars that have curly leaves. sometimes solid green, as in this cultivar, and sometimes not only curly but variegated. Really charming little thing. Wrath of Khan is a really distinct cultivar. The leaves are very stiff and thick, sort of gently ridged or pleated throughout, and also variegated. It really stands out from so many other Rohdea japonica cultivars. Here's yet another Rohdea. This one, an example of ones with pleated or ridged leaves. It's like they have an extra fold in the center of the garden. And here in this cultivar, the ridge is highlighted by being variegated, so it really stands out. But and many of the Japanese cultivars with ridged leaves have Ryu, R-Y-U in the name, and that means dragons, and dragons feature big in Japanese cultivar. So, but this was a garden sport here, and Tony's name for this cultivar is Tama Hilfiger. Now, Tommy Hilfiger was a common clothes designer decades ago, and I don't know if younger people even know that name any longer. But a somewhat dated name for a lovely Rohdea japonica cultivar. So Japanese Rohdea, Rohdea japonica, highly recommend it for the shade garden. Thank you very much for your time today.